Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as it is for me at this moment, dead of night. It is 4:26 a.m. in Central Time, USA. It is, I don't know what the track time is locally, but it's mid of the afternoon in Singapore. So I want to thank everyone here to the Race Statistics channel. This is Crash with you with our live coverage of Singapore FP3. I want to thank everyone on Twitch. I want to thank everyone on YouTube. And we're about two. See who's correct. We're about 3 minutes or so for a green light at the end of the pin lane for the start of the session. So we're about ready to go. News right now. One of the things you guys we're talking about just before I came on the air was Alex Doom was released by McLaren. Now he was under a junior program, um, a junior program contract basically. Um, he's done nothing wrong. In fact, he's done everything right. And the fact is that basically McLaren has no place for him. Basically they've got Lando, they've got Oscar, and there's no room to elevate him. So basically, what McLaren is doing is basically allowing him, basically by releasing him from the contract, it now allows him to go look at the other teams effectively. Looking at right now, trying to get a view on what's going on track at the moment. Another piece of information this weekend is that the FIA has declared that for this race, it is a heat hazard. And this is new this year. And by declaring a heat hazard, it now opens up cars. Basically, cars have to run with a certain set of a kit on it for cooling for the drivers, and there's a new cooling suit, essentially, a new vest that the drivers now can wear to help keep them cool during the race. Singapore is known as being brutal with their temperatures. So again, I'm looking at my stream right now, live here. So I got about 2 minutes on my F1 stream right now. We'll see if there's a difference between when we F the basically difference between when time starts on basically multi-viewer, what you guys are seeing, and versus my F1 stream. Saturday morning ASMR. Oh boy. Tom Peters reporting in chat. According to AccuWeather, on the line chance of rain from 8 to 10 p.m. is 40%. It's the highest chance for the entire day. Guys, are there new Red Bull updates? There are, and I don't know what they are. I didn't get a chance to look at specifically what those Red Bull upgrades were. I know they did bring some upgrades. Um, this is something that over the particularly past two races, Red Bull has made huge jump to basically they've jumped ahead of McLaren. Now, part of that has been McLaren mistakes, but there's something it, I can't put my finger on what exactly, but you're watching the cars, you're watching what is happening, and there's a vibe within what's going on where Red Bull has gone basically ahead of McLaren in some way. And we just gone green light, and I believe that's Bierman, the one of the Haas is coming out right away. So I only about like a 10-second difference between my stream and what you guys are seeing on multi-viewer. Alcon is out next, and then Sonoda third onto track. So FP3 has started, green light at the end of the pit lane, and we are on to this practice. Colpino out fourth. Nathan asking, do you have a prediction on what the quality pole lap time will be? No, I don't. I don't. That's something that I am not capable of predicting right now, to be quite honest. Uh, my predictions are usually really off. F1 Codemaster saying it's 3 p.m. in India. Well, it'll be built 3:01 now in India. Burl is here in Twitch chat. Won't be here for the qualifying race. Oh, need to work. That understandable, my friend. And we do have these videos on demand on YouTube specifically. So Bierman is coming around 16-17 to 18-19 and finally to the finish line, and Ocon as well. So these are the first two who have gone around. Pitting? Nope, he's going to go for a flying lap. So Bierman first on the flying lap in Sector 1. Ocon coming the line, and he's going to be doing his flying lap. Explosive Kids, absolutely a Max Verstappen fan in chat. Max get into the top four. I mean, yeah, Max can obviously Max can get into the top four. Got dark hair. We've got Paulo. We got Mayaki here. Shay's here. Shay is in the gym. Shay is getting swole. I believe there's chance of rain, but I don't know if there's the chance of rain during the race itself. I'm gonna have to look between FP now and quali to give you better information on that at the moment. That's gonna take some digging in to see when if there's rain, when it will hit. Behrman has gone around. He is in Sector 1, Sector 2 at the end, hitting the detection point for DRS. 18-19 to the line. Behrman has a 133.986 lap time. Right now, about half of the drivers are out on track, or we're about to get. Aston Martin's going to make it 12 on track. They're coming out of the pits at the moment. Noto goes to the top of the board with 133.743. Again, he's the first of the first four drivers who came out. Right now, we're looking at Lawson, Barlow, Norris, and Oscar. Oscar is he pitting? No, he's on. It still is out lap. So Lawson's the next to come across the line. He's going to go to top board 133.628. Again, it's early in this session. Only 5 drivers have set time. Barlow and Isaac coming to the line. Barlow finishing a flying lap. He goes P4. And Isaac will be starting a flying lap. Felper, Weiss, Clerk, and Hamilton. It is very common for teams to not go out for 10 or 15 minutes in FP3. So I wouldn't. Again, FP3 is not representative of quality or the race, so you will see teams be like, it's quality time. I mean, it's looking at what's going on at the moment. This is Norris we're looking at. Norris going to the top board, 132.7, 379. Fastest first and third sector. Oscar right now on his flying lap has the fastest sector second. Fastest second sector. He's going to go second behind his teammate. So we're looking at 132.379 and 132.554. So they're first in the 132s in this session. I want to thank Tom Ackerman. They're showing up in Twitch chat. Why is well, Alonso just came out of the pits. Alonso and Stroll coming out of the pits. So they went in. I think they scrubbed the hard tires. They're on medium tires now. I kind of suspect that they will come back in. They'll just scrub the tire and come back in, and that's something that you'll see repeatedly from Aston Martin. They of all the teams love to scrub their tires. And the idea is that they're trying to get the shine off the tire so they can get into a working operating range faster when they need it during the race. That's the theory. I don't know. I don't really subscribe to that theory, to be honest with you. I understand how you could think it that way. I just don't subscribe to that theory personally. So, yeah. Brello coming back out. He's on a medium tire. Ocon up to 6 after his second flying lap. Tsunoda coming to the line. He's going to go P3 after doing his flying lap. He's got the fastest third sector. Ilya, drivers allowed to go fast in the pit lane. Fast for me and you. But no, there is a speed limit to the pit lane. I know that was changed. That was raised up, but ultimately, I mean, it's not as fast as being on track. Sainz right now on track. Take a look. And he has started a flying lap. He's got the fastest first sector at 27.313 in that first sector. Hulkenberg has gone P6, 133.169. He's 0.79 behind Norris's fastest time. No, Brandon. If you see the blue bars at the end of in sector 3, it means they're in the pits. If they're see the blue bars at the beginning in sector 1, it means they're on an outlap. So we're going over. Science right now, fastest sector 2, 38.620. I wish I had more two or three of the sector times. Science has gone full purple lap, a 131.960 for Science. Now he's on a soft tire. The only one else on a soft tire is Albon. Right now. Yellow flag. Looks like Tsunoda. Where is Tsunoda? So Tsunoda looks like he came off the track and came back on, which would cause that yellow flag. This is Carlos Sainz. And he's got to deal with one of the red. It would be Yuki. Oh no, it's not Yuki. It's a McLaren. So Albon goes 132.317. He's 375 behind his teammate. Fastest third sector. Oscar has now he's entered the pits, but before abandoning the lap, he had the fastest second sector. Oscar coming back out. Norris has started a flying lap. He's got the first finished sector one already. He's the fastest sector one time already. Hamilton coming P7, 132.807 lap time. Right now, only three drivers have not come out of the pits. It would be Max, Antonelli, and Russell. From what I saw from highlights, it was a bad day for Mercedes. A very horrible, bad day. Antonelli coming out of the pits, he's going to be on a soft tire. He'd be the third on a soft tire. Norris fastest second sector, he's on a medium tire. And he goes a purple lap, and he goes top of the board 131.021. So Norris signs in the 131s, and then a big gap to Albon. Tsunoda improves his time, but not his position. And Achi has joined chat. Thank you so much. Cheering for Yuki Tsunoda. L is here. Like L, like Paula, like Shay, Mayaki, Dark. These are people who have joined the channel. Effectively, the Racistix family, as I refer to them as. Stands right now, we have 146,000 subscribers. New high score, as we would put it. Our army. Isaac's just gone P3, 132.064 time. He's over. Norris has done a new lap time, 131.021. He is basically has jumped Sainz by almost a second. Isaac is over a second. Allen right now fastest for a sector, 27.019. Norris right now coming to the end of sector 2. Albon coming to the end of sector 2 right now. He does a 38.475 at green sector, though he had some sectors that were purple. Yellow flag. And it's going to be Lawson. What has happened to Lawson? Lawson has stopped. And this is going to bring this to a red flag. Unfortunately, Albon is going to. He had a good lap time up until that red flag came out. So Lawson has stopped on track. Trying to see what happened to him. They have not. I don't think I've seen a replay yet. So Lawson's front right tire has collapsed, and and there's debris on track behind him. So here's the replay. He's coming around. Yeah, so ooh, that's nasty. So Lawson comes around, he hits curbing, and he loses control of the car, and he goes into the wall. His wing pops off and goes faster than the car. You are with a red flag with Grash right now. Our perpetrator is Lawson, who has hit the wall. Mail car deployed. That makes sense. The mail car would be deployed. Um, so they're putting Lawson in the mail again. It looks like the amount of the amount of force that we rate things by are through by G forces, and it looks like we've hit Lawson by definition of how he hit the wall. He went in hard, and so that G force would be significantly high. So they've taken him into the medical car, and he's being taken away. And he will be evaluated. Basically, he'll be checked out and evaluated. Um, if he's okay, we'll see him we'll see him do interviews in the next 20 minutes or so. But by definition, he's being taken away by the medical car to be evaluated, and that's just by the sheer force of the hit he did onto the wall. Basically, what happens is ultimately they're going to check it by it's a sanity check, and this is normal with IndyCar or NASCAR or all the other series. You hit at a certain G force, you're automatically taken looked at by the doctors. Again, you're listening to the Racing Statistics channel. Right now, we're waiting for the track to be cleared. What do you call when there's a blue bar in that, and in the end, well, what basically the blue bar at the end means they came into the pits. Blue bar at the beginning means is they came out of the pits and they're on out lap. So like Russell and Verstappen had literally just came out, and Bortoleto had just came out of the pits, um, and then that red flag happened, so it brought them back into the pits. Um, so when you see it at the both at the so in normal scenario when like during like let's take Aston Martin. When they come out of the pits and come right back in, we would refer to one of the scenarios would be an installation lap. That is to make sure that the engine is running properly, that there's nothing wrong with the engine in that regards. Most of the time, when we see that with Aston Martin, and they go out they come in, they do that on a tire, come back in, put on a different set of tire. They're basically just doing that to scrub the tires. Yeah, several drivers have not set times as of yet. Alonso Stroll and Antonelli had started flying laps, but were aborted by the red flag. Russell and Max have not set times yet as well, but they weren't hadn't even got into a flying lap as of yet. Right now, yellow flag. So what they need to do, one, they've gotten the car off track. Two, they've cleared, I think, a good amount of the debris on the track. Um, and it looks like he hit a barrier. Get a better look at what type of barrier he hit. So now what they're doing right now is evaluating the track around turn 7. That's bad. They should be able to repair the car for quality, but that's not a guarantee. Lawson did get out of the car on his own accord before the medical car arrived, and he basically walked into the medical car. So one of the things right now, we're just waiting for race control to tell us when the session will resume. So right now it's saying clear in track sector 6. That's where the incident just took place. So we're looking at right there in terms of when we're waiting basically for a message there to say when the session. Omega Sign, hi Grash, did I miss any red flags? You just did. You just missed Lawson hitting the wall around turn 7. He basically hit curbs hard and lost control of the car and went into the wall. Okay, blue closes grass flags. Yeah, I do. I do. I admit it. So right now we're in a yellow flag scenario in that. So they're gonna go back between green and yellow until it's ready. Again, this is your red flag scenario because Lawson has hit the wall. Is he okay? It looked like he was okay. He got out of the car. He walked over to the medical car, so he looked okay. But he's being taken in the medical car, and he's going to be evaluated because clearly that hit hard. And there we got. We'll race control. Session will resume at 17:54 local time, so it's about a minute now. If you haven't had a chance to like and subscribe, now's a great time to do it. If you do that on YouTube, you will get access to. You subscribe. It helps us with the algorithm. If you join the channel, you'll get access to a special set of emojis. Over on Twitch, if you follow us, you get your notification set up, you'll get notifications on Twitch when we go live. And they're right now lined up on pit lane, and we're about 10 seconds to go before again, I'm watching on F1, my F1 stream, basically, it's about 10 seconds before it goes green. Isaac's going to be the first one to go out. I was saying that Alcon is saying that they need to revert back to yesterday's settings about his Haas. Feels changes today. His changes from yesterday to today are a disaster. That's not good to see. So teams are lining up to go out. I think so. Oscar's going out. Lando is set on the side to do a pit lane start. Practice start for it is. So Behrman is still in the pits. So is Ocon. Obviously, Lawson, his car's being brought back to the pits, and Max is in the pits still. So those are the only 3 cars. I think Behrman is waiting to leave the pits. Yep, he's next to go. So Isaac's the first one to come to 18-19 and come across the line to start a flying lap. Barlow will be second with Alonso, and I think Russell is behind Alonso. Russell's going to pass Alonso. And Max is leaving the pits. No, I think there's just a data issue. His tire isn't being pushed out correctly in the data stream. Yeah, they're not using prototype tires in this session. We've got 33 minutes left to go in this session right now. We have had one red flag already when Lawson hit the wall, went over curbs and went into the wall hard. So right now, Norris is top of the board with Science P2. Bierman has what did he just do? He's about to finish. Bierman did a 131.689 for P3. So again, we've got those. The first three are the only ones under a second right now in terms of time. Isaac is over a second. Russell just did a P4 1.86. Science right now is a purple first sector. Again, you're listening to our live coverage of the Singapore Grand Prix, and this is practice 3. This is our last practice before quali. We've got another yellow flag, and that's going to be Science. Science has stopped. What's going on with Science? Oh, Science has gone off track, so he hasn't. So Science has went into a runoff area, and he's now back on track running. So we're now back to a green flag scenario. So there's no replay. No, Science didn't hit the wall. He didn't make his turn. So yeah, Science locked up. He didn't make his turn. So he went into the runoff area, and because he stopped there, that brought out the yellow flag. He has now gone back on track, and now we're back to green flag running again. Plano just went to P9. Franco did a 1:32.672 lap time. He's 1.6 back. Max has just done a P4. He's a half a second behind Norris this time. He's on used medium tires. See, Otter just crossed the line. He's starting a flying lap, it looks like. Here comes Hulkenberg. Isaac is pitting. Here comes Russell and Gasly to 18-19. Then Norris. Gasly goes up to 17th. He's over 2 seconds behind Norris this time. I think Norris is starting a flying lap. I don't know. Oscar's not on flying lap. He just crossed the line. He's 2 seconds behind the fastest time in Sector 1. So he may be on a different program, a race run quality. He could be like weighted down with fuel, for example. Hamilton coming across the line. He goes up to P4. He's 0.427 back to 131.448. Lonzo's last lap was a 137.301. His best is just a tenth faster. He's 6 seconds off pace right now, and he just did another 28.6 in that sector one, and that's an improvement in his sector times. He must be weighted down. They must be doing race run simulation right now, and they're not dealing with quali. So I would throw Alonso's times out the window and disregard that because he's not doing any quali style run. Stroll just moved up to P12. He's 1.6 back. So Aston, I don't know if they're sandbagging or they're doing something else, but they're not trying to do any particular fast lap right now. So when Annette's saying it's Max's first, this is not Max's first lap. He's actually done a lap that is of competitive for like quali. We got 27 minutes left to go in this session. Again, this is the Race Statistics channel. This is Crash with you live with coverage of Free Practice 3 at Singapore. We've had one red flag this session already, and that was Lawson again hitting the wall. How many minutes has done so far? I mean, 5 so far. He's on this would be the 6th lap when he finishes it. I think one of them is when the red flag came out, and then he came out again. Did an outlap, did a flying lap, did an outlap. He's now, I believe, on another. He's going around again. He's doing 136.225, several seconds off the pace. Isaac just jumped to a 131.512. He's again ahead of Max. This by 14 thousandths. He was only 11 thousandths faster than Max in FP2. Russell's jumped up to P7. 131.663 lap time. Isaac is 0.491 behind Norris. Russell is 0.642 behind Norris. And Denley has fastest second sector. Has a decent first sector. He's gone faster, but it's a decent competitive. It's only off by a half a tenth in sector one from say Science. Incident involving Hamilton noted red flag infringement. We'll see what that is later. And Annalie's gone to the top of the board, 130. First one in the 130. He's on a soft tire. He's 261 faster than Norris. So some track evolution going on at the moment. That's right now green sector. He's actually faster than Antonelli on that last lap by 5 thousandths. Right now, Max abandoned his lap, it looked like. He improved in sector 1 to greatly off, almost 12 seconds off the pace in sector 2. So it looks like towards the end of that sector, it would be probably something happening around turn 13, where he's now. I suspect he's going to come into the pits. Is he coming to the pits? No, he's going around. Is he going to go for just start another flying lap? We'll see. Russell improves in his lap time, but it's a 131.663, but it's not to improve his position. Now, Gasly has gone up to 17th. Hamilton's last lap was 135.4, and Leclerc's was 139.2. So obviously not quality time. So someone in chat is saying these are doing race runs. Looks like. Only 3 people are in the pits, and then Lawson is out of the session. So Alonso, Behrman, Antonelli are in the pits, and Lawson is out of the session after crashing. What's happened to Leclerc? He's probably doing race runs and not doing a quali run. So he's not pushing the car as fast as it possibly can, because ultimately he's doing something related to the race as opposed to a quali scenario. And we assume Alonso is doing the same thing as well, or has been. Both. All right, only Alonso is in the pits right now. Carlos is saying that he wants to go for another lap before it looks like maybe pitting for another program. Max right now looks like he's on a flying lap per se. Ocon just jumped up to P10, 131.950. So it looks like Russell and Max are the only ones. Trying to think. Max is 0.2 back in sector 1. Russell's gone top of the board with 26.924. In sector 1, I should say. He's fastest sector 1. He's on a soft tire, though. Max has improved in his time in sector 2. Yeah, yellow flag. And is Albon and Max just went past Albon. And yeah, so that basically is going to ruin that time. Albon Albon went off track. And he's now back on track. So did that ruin Max's? So it was a 130. So that's actually a 131.358. That moves Max to P5. But that lap could have been better if Albon was not off track. Again, Russell coming to the line. He's going to jump to P4. 131.283. Fastest for a sector. Improved in sector 2, sector 3. Antonelli charging in sector 1 right now. He improved it in his time and he's now just had 3 subsectors where he's done the fastest of everyone. It's going to be a good sector time, looks like. Up 763. So that sector time has dropped significantly. It was 26.9, it's now 26.7. So there's 2/10 gained so far. What has happened to Antonelli? Came into sector one. Now improving in sector two. Maybe. Finishing sector two about now. We'll see what the time looks like. 41.6. So he did abandon the lap. Something happened at the end of around somewhere around turn 6. Something happened where they basically decided to abandon the lap. He's going around, so he's not entered the pit lane. Max is right behind him. No, he has entered the pit lane, and so is Max. Sainz is pitting. We've got 17 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in this session. It looks like we are now cycling in um, at that midpoint, midpoint towards the end of the session. Teams come in and they're going to, basically do what they need with the cars to go out for their last program of the session. Yeah, Paula's not a bot. I don't know why you guys think she's a bot. That's weird that you're saying that about her. There you go. So basically, all who's left on track now is Stroll, Alonso, and Leclerc. Leclerc just came out of the pits. It's pretty much clean air for Leclerc and Stroll at the moment. Alonso, he's putt-putting around. He did his 27.7, so he's the second off already behind Antonelli's best sector time. Take a look at the times as they come across to sector 2. Stroll did to 40, so he's 3 seconds off. See where Alonso. He does a 52. So I don't know what they're doing. Alonso was improving, and then again around turn 6, something happened. He's has decided to abandon the lap. Clerk is still on an out lap, so Stroll is pitted. I suspect Alonso's going to pit, maybe. Again, I want to thank everyone who's in both Twitch and YouTube chat. Again, if you have any questions, you can at me at Grashariza in chat. Isaac is coming out. Alonso's staying out on track. Alonso starting a good sector 1 again. Green so far across the board. Alonso just charged past Isaac around turn 7. The Papaya Boys are out and Hamilton is out, so the Team Red is out. The Haas's are coming out. So Alonso did a 27.2, which is about half a second behind Antonelli's best time in Sector 1. He just came around turn 13. He's going to the R zone so he's about to finish Sector 2. He has a 38.6. He's 7/10 off Antonelli's fastest time. So he's already 1.5, about 1.25 off already on his lap time. And this is an improvement for Alonso across this lap time as it stands right now. Alonso's going to go P10. It's a 1 second, 1.075 difference in lap time. He has a 25.9. Clerk just jumped to the top of the board, 130.651. So they definitely did something with his car. He's also on soft tires. Alonso was 4/10 off in Sector 1 in terms of the fastest sector time. So several are on track right now, like Colpino, Sainz, Verstappen, Albon. Mercedes are out. Saubers are out. Saubers soon to be Audi. McLaren is out. Norris has gone fastest in Sector 1, 26.738. We got 12 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the session right now. You're listening to the Race 6 channel, and this is Crash with you live with coverage. Thank you who are watching on Twitch, YouTube. If you're on TikTok or Facebook or watching after the fact, thank you so much. Yellow flag. Like Bortoletto might have done something. He is still moving. Isaac's gone to P2, 130.679. He's 28,000 behind Leclerc. This is Isaac out overperforming and looking like a solid Grand Prix driver. Norris has gone to the top of the board, 130.292. Only 4 drivers are in the 130s right now, and that'd be Norris, Leclerc, Isaac, and Antonelli. Oscar just joined that club. He's now P2. Norris was a big jump after Leclerc, so Oscar is is a third of a second behind 335, and Leclerc is 359. Isaac is now 387, and Antonelli is 468 behind Norris. So these are the only drivers in the 130s. Hamilton just jumped into that category. He's second. He's 267 behind Norris. Behrman joined in the back of the pack, P7. He's 0.507 behind Norris. Ocon coming in P7, pushing his teammate back by a few thousandths, 492. So it's 15 thousandths between Ocon and Behrman. Colpino coming in P9 with a 131.4047. Max right now coming around. And he's got the fastest second and third sector. He's top of the board with 130.147. So it's a 144 faster time than Norris. Sainz coming. Currently P13. He's got fastest third sector. Taking that from Max, a 130.392. So that's a 10th off of Norris's time and is 244 behind Max. Russell and Antonelli are coming in next. Russell is P13 right now, goes to P2. 49,000 behind Max. Here comes Antonelli. Antonelli comes up to P4. He's 2.22 behind Max, fastest second sector. Sainz has the fastest third sector. Max has the fastest second sector. Hulkenberg into P8 in the 130 club. 0.492. Stroll up to 15th. Yeah, with 9:30 left to go, Max Verstappen on top of the board right now. This is, if you're a McLaren fan, this is not what you want to see. Max ahead of Norris by 144 and Oscar by 479. Oscar is pitting. They're going to do something on the car. track is full of everyone. The only people who are not on track right now is Oscar, who just pitted, and Lawson, who is out of the session. Again, Lawson went over curbs, lost control of the car, and went into the wall pretty roughly. Was taken to medical. I have not seen him do interviews as of yet, so he's being evaluated medically. Again, that is to be expected when you go into the wall with a high G force. One interesting piece of news from this weekend so far is Alex Dune basically being released by McLaren from his contract. Basically, it's a junior driver contract, and this allows him to basically talk with other teams about a potential seat next year. So this is nothing has gone wrong. This is evaluation. What's going on between an Alpine and one of the Salvers? They were racing side by side. Looked like for a moment. We got a yellow flag, and I think that the car has come off and come back on because that's been resolved pretty quickly. Right now, we're looking at Alonso, Tsunoda, Gasly, our only one with green on the board. Leclerc, good sector one, not a great sector one. He's 2/10 off. Several people are coming in the pits. I expect them they'll be out in the next 5 minutes. If they're not going to do a program, then they'll at least come back out to do a race start, a practice start at the start finish line after the session ends. Barrel 15th, Sonoda 16th. He's with people over a second at the moment. Lens up to P13, 130.923. And that's an improvement across the board on soft tires. He had previously, last time he had done on a medium tire. So this is Alonso improving. I suspect he's weighted down with fuel. He's been doing race runs all session long. I don't know why they would change that up at this point. Albon to P10. He is 0.520 behind Max's fastest time. And that was a 130.668 lap time. Just noticing people are talking about how to watch free. There's no really way to watch F1 free unless you're like watching on like Sky Sports in the UK, or you're watching. Yeah, if you're asking how to watch for free, you're gonna get tossed from chat because we like our channel. We have to defend it from people like you. Well, anyone crack the 129? Maybe during quali dark. Maybe. I mean, we're at 130.148. Maybe Q3. We might see that crack. Again, this is not representative times. Like when we get to quali, it will be night. We'll be under the lights. The track will be cooler, and so it will be potentially faster. Four minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this session right now, and this is Grash with you on the Race Discus channel, live on YouTube, Twitch, and elsewhere. One of the things we're doing this weekend, we're setting up a prediction. Can you predict things better than racing statistics? after the race is over Sunday, we'll have a moment where we'll review that. We've also put the link, for those who are in YouTube chat, we put the link to FP3. There is a yellow flag. It has been resolved, though. For those of you who are on Twitch, basically you'll be brought to the quality stream if you just stay on the page. We'll just go live again. Isaac at the P6 with a 130.489. Stroll right now with green sector, so is Bortolello. Hulkenberg right now, the only drivers that look like they're improving on their any times at the moment. Stroll comes into P16. Bortolello has a good, decent sector one. He's about a tenth and a quarter, tenth and an eighth off of Antonelli's fastest time. Hulkenberg just came across the line, P9, 130.6637. I think it was in P9. I think he improved in his time, but not his position. Leclerc right now coming across the line. And will he be doing a fast lap? 2:15 left to go in this session. 2-minute warning, basically, for those of you who are football fans in the United States. Bortolello goes P12 with 130.697. He's 0.549 behind Max. So there's again, P1 through P12 are all in the 130s. No, I gotta go back. I go P1 through P 15 are all within the 130s. Looking right now, Leclerc improving in sector 1. Gasly has improved in sector 1, sector 2. Improving in sector 3 so far. Three tenths off in sector 1. 7 tenths off in sector 2. Antonelli just did a fastest sector 2 time. And Gasly goes a 131.643. He's 1.495 off the time. Here comes Antonelli charging past the Paya team. Just past Norris, just past Oscar. He's coming to 18-19. He goes up to P3, passing Norris on that lap. Albon right now is green. Alonso is green. Sonoda has a green sector 1. Didn't improve in sector 2. Yellow flag. Oh, and that is Albon who stopped. Albon's gone on the wall. Is he... did he hit the wall? Albon's moving again. Albon stopped for a moment, so it's back being clear. That would affect Bortolello, but Bortolello had already done his lap. So we're looking at Alonso. I think Alonso boarded his lap. And we have first one to take the flag was Ocon, so time has expired. Just gonna check just to make sure that check Isaac. I think Isaac aboard. Oscar just did a fastest second sector with 37.781, taking it from Antonelli. So we'll keep an eye on him. Isaac is improved in sector 2. So Isaac eventually looks like he abandoned the lap after the yellow flag. Oscar's going to go top to P2. He's only 17 thousandths behind Max. So just make sure there's no one else. Keep an eye on Stroll. Stroll doesn't improve in position. I think that's going to be it for our session. Several McLaren fans cheering after seeing Oscar go P2 on the board. It's now basically so FP3 is just finished. We will be so in about 2 hours. We'll be back live with some music. F Quali will start 2.5 hours from now, and I will be back again about 5-10 minutes before the session Q1 starts. I'll be back with FIA decision documents. There were some stuff that had gone on. Oh, what's going on with the Alpine and Max? So it looked like Gasly went by Franco and Max. Franco squeezed Max close to the wall. That's weird. We'll see if the students note this at all. Again, for everyone here at the Racing Channel, this has been Grash, and I've been doing coverage for FP3. Again, next session is Quali. I'll be back for Quali. And as it stands tomorrow, Ollie's going to be doing the race. For everyone here at Racing Statistics, we will see you for Quali. Take care, everyone.